Right, today I'm going to do 6 to 8 by 1 kilometer reps. So I actually tried to do this session last week, but I went out and I ran really far too fast. So I was a bit disappointed with myself because my legs were a bit screwed up some days afterwards and I missed some other good training. So today I want to keep it really controlled so I'm not too screwed up tomorrow. So I've set up the whole thing on my watch now, including the distance I'm going to run with the breaks, but then also the actual pace that I want to run, because I'm not too interested in looking at my heart rate today, because I from the session last week I worked out what paces I want to run and sort of like what RP I want to feel doing those paces. So if everything's feeling a bit bad, I'll probably just stop early. But I'm going to try and follow what I've set up in the watch and then just see how long I can last until I feel like the RP goes above 7. So I'm really aiming for like between 5 and 7 for all the reps. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. I'm interested to look at the times for afterwards and see what I can manage at what effort level. I'm going to run hopefully between 6 and 8 by 1 kilometer on this flat bit of road, just out 1 kilometer, minute and a half break, back 1 kilometer, and so on. Following the watch because I've set in what speeds, what pace I want to be, sort of roughly in between. So the plan is to really try and not go too fast and try and do more reps. But easier said than done, I think, to go slower than you think you can. My heart rate's super low, but I guess it's the first rep. So I don't know, my heart rate was like zone 2, but I guess it'll be zone 3, there's a heart rate for the goal. So the first rep is going to be maybe zone 2 and then it'll gradually increase, but the pace was like spot on for the plan, so it feels slow. Yeah, but still it's hard to run slower than you want. Maybe by the 8th it'll feel fast. Fine. Perfect 3:25. Third rep, bang on pace, heart rate still a bit low, so I've got between 3:20 and 3:30 pace to work, so they've all been 3:25, 3:24, so maybe now I'll start trying to do 3:21, 3:22 and see if I can get my pulse up a bit more. Yeah, it's like working but very controllable. Halfway soon. 3:21 pace, 162 heart rate. For me that's like bottom end of zone 3, so still looking really solid, but I'll try for another one of those and see. feel. Still a bit easy. 3:23 pace, but my heart rate was like just into zone 3. But then maybe this session will be a bit easy, but it's better being slightly too easy than too hard, so I can plan better for next week and not screw myself up. So I think even though it's a little bit easy, it's on like the easier end of what I wanted, it's just a good thing, so I can build on it next week instead of going too hard now, which will just then screw up the entire next month. So I'm happy. It's fun to run fast and feel like it's easy, because yeah, it's always fun to run fast. You know, there's no shit coming out my nose, so no, it's not too hard. 6, 2 left. Breathing a little bit more now. Still pretty good control. Trying to push the pace a little bit more, but not quicker than 3:20, hopefully. .319, in the right place. Nose open, middle to low, one left. Because I think this is giving me 95% the training benefit I want, with a lower risk of injury, and also just means I can hopefully train either this evening or tomorrow really well. Whereas if I went 10 seconds per kilometre quicker now, I'd probably be a bit screwed up tonight and tomorrow and have to wait till Monday till I train again. So I could do another one of these sessions again tomorrow, maybe on terrain, because the tarmac's a bit hard for my legs, but my body should be able to like absorb this training rather than being screwed up. Hopefully. Plan. It's nice, isn't it? You still see the sun? Fine. 3:20. Yeah, I feel fine. I could do 2 more, but I'm not going to, because I think 2 more would be a waste, because yeah, I'll just get a bit too much into the danger zone of hurty shins and hurty legs, and maybe a bit tired later, but I don't really know. I'll see how I feel tonight and tomorrow after this session, then maybe I can do 10 next week at the same pace, or drop the pace and keep the same amount of reps. So use this as like a learning thing, and plan moving forwards. But I think it's really important to say that some people want to run as fast as I did in this session, but in order to do that, the wrong way to do it is to run as fast as I did. You need to run at the right speed for you, and over some months or years build up to running this fast. Same as I want to run as fast as some professional road runners, but if I just go out and try and do sessions like this at their speeds, I'm not going to improve, and I'm not going to be able to match them in any races. So it's important to run the speeds you can that are right for you at the time, so you can progress and become better. The session that I did last week, which I wasn't like so happy with my pacing, it was the first road flat interval session back, and I took 2 intervals to kind of warm up, which were too slow, and then by the time I got into it, this one was like an okay pace but still a bit fast, and then I did 4 just really fast intervals, which I was pretty like tired and done after those 4, and they like screwed me up for a couple of days, to be honest. So after that session, I really decided that I had to try and get real with myself and say that I'm not that fast yet and take some steps back. So yeah, that's the pacing chart. So you can see the pace. I was in this like zone 6, which is like not really what I was aiming for. I wanted a bit an easier session than that. And the heart rate chart, I was like right at the top of zone 4, especially on the last two. So like well into borrowed time, which is going to have like a big detrimental effect on my body. So the plan for today was to take it right back and really have a controlled, good session, which is what I've just done. So now I can go and have a look at that one, which was today, and I set it all up on my watch, so I just followed the watch, and it even had this pacing thing, and it gives you like two red zones that you're not meant to be in, and then the pacing zone that you've decided to be in. And you get like a meter thing which shows you if you're at the top, bottom, or middle of that. So it went really well, and that actually really helped me pace the session well. Where are we now? So heart rate wise, I was like almost too low, especially for the first ones. But then I started to try and push the pace to the very bottom end of the range that I decided on in the last 4 or 5. So at least I'm getting up into good zone 3 there. So like the heart rate was pretty low, but that just means it was really controlled. But the pace was still relatively fast. So this is showing the pace zones, my zones, and the pace zone I was going for was this number 4, which is meant to be sort of like my sweet spot for these types of intervals. It's meant to be between 3:16 per kilometer and 3:29, and I decided to try and run between 3:20 and 3:30. So I was trying to pace it right in that zone. And yeah, these are the 3 strides I did after the drills. So I progressively got faster in those, like obviously pretty fast, they were strides, but then the actual reps, every single one was pretty solidly averaged within this speed zone. So all around between 3:20 and 3:25. So none faster, none slower. And obviously, like I could do a session, I could probably do all of these like much quicker. I could do them 3:10, maybe 3:05, but then the detrimental effect would be far greater. And I think I get like just as much benefit from the session this way, and I can do more sessions sooner, so I can improve my fitness even more that way. So it kind of goes beyond a bit against sort of like common sense, but sometimes to get faster, you do need to run slower, especially in slow training and easy training, but even in intervals. Yeah, so I'm happy.